Good morning. My name is Hayward Dykes. I'm the special magistrate that will be hearing the short-term rental compliance hearings this morning. It's August 26, 2025. If you have a cell phone, please turn it off or put it on vibrate. These are quasi-judicial, so all those who intend to present evidence or testimony this morning, if you'll please stand and raise your right hand. Do you both swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, thank you. All right. I have a shorter or truncated agenda up on the dais. Has 1 through 8. Are there any other amendments or announcements that we need to know, or is this? Right. Yeah. Well, there was 9, but number 9 is marked 3. So, okay. All right. With that being said, we'll go ahead and call the first matter. 25-00123. It's the Rossi Levy Trust, and it's for 10 West Bradley Street in Miramar Beach, Florida.
Good morning. For the record, and I'm presenting the final summary reports and testimony for all the cases on today's agenda. I'm stipulating that all case files, notices, mailings, and evidence have been provided by Mr. Joshua Allen, the short-term vacation rental coordinator for the Planning Department. All of the cases presented today involve properties in the unincorporated area of Walton County and are subject to the Land Development Code, Chapter 7, and other provisions of the Land Development Code. All of the cases presented today are for the violation of Land Development Code 1.13.16A, short-term vacation certificate required. A copy of this code section is contained within the reports. Specifically, it's in the notice of violation. All notice of violations and notice of hearings were sent by Mr. Allen by certified mail as prescribed by Florida Statute 162 and by Land Development Code Chapter 7. All evidence of each property being advertised as a short-term rental property were captured by Mr. Allen from the GovOS program, which monitors and provides data for all advertised short-term rental properties. Each of these advertisements were physically verified by Mr. Allen. The county is requesting that for all properties found in violation, with the exception of item number 3, that they shall be brought into compliance within 48 hours from the date of this hearing by either removing all forms and instances of advertisements as short-term rentals, or each property is registered in full compliance with all county codes and requirements. Failure to bring the property into compliance by the established deadline will result in a $500 per day fine until the property is brought into compliance. The administrative fees for each case is listed on the case summary as well as on the final order itself. With case number CESTR 25-00123, this is the Levi Rossi Trust. Property is located at 10 West Bradley Street, Miramar Beach. Parcel number is 302321422900000281. Mr. Allen is here to answer any specific questions you may have about the property. Again, on this one, we're asking for 48 hours to be brought into compliance and an administrative fee of $83.
All right, thank you, sir. I have in the file for the Rossi Levy Trust a printout for an extended stay. Looks like TripAdvisor. This was printed out by you, Mr. Allen?
Correct, sir.
All right. And I see also a notice dated July 29th advising that the property located at 10 West Bradley Street, Miramar Beach was not in compliance. This appears to be initialed or at least signed by you, Mr. Allen?
Correct.
All right. And then I see the notices of violation, notice of violation as well as a notice of hearing with your signature block at the bottom, Mr. Lynch, and those were prepared and sent out by yourself?
This was actually sent out by Mr. Allen.
Okay. So, Mr. Allen, those were sent out. All right, I'll accept that into evidence. Have they registered? I know there's a couple levels. They register with the state, but they also register with the county. Was this one where they registered with the state but failed to register with the county?
Correct, sir. On the executive summary there, they are registered with the Department of Business Professional Regulation, as well as registered with the TDT department, but they have failed to register with my program.
Based on the testimony and evidence presented, I will find that there is a violation at 10 West Bradley Street, Miramar Beach, Florida. Property is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, is therefore subject to the Land Development Code. That, based on the testimony and evidence, there is a violation of 1.13.16A, short-term vacation rental certificate requirements. Based on the recommendation of city staff, I will find that the property must be brought into compliance on or before August 28th, 2025. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before August 28th, 2025, a $500 per day fine will be accrued. In addition to the fine, there is an $83 administrative fee for prosecution of the matter that'll need to be paid within 30 days, regardless of whether or not the property is brought into compliance. Did I miss anything, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. I'm signing that order now. All right, the next case, 250129. Property owner is listed as Winston Lane Partnership, LLC. Property address is 115 Winston Lane, Inlet Beach, Florida, 32461. All right, and I have in my packet a booking.com printout listing 115 Winston Lane, Panama City Beach, Florida, 32413. And was this printed by you, Mr. Allen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you print this?
That was printed out yesterday, sir.
I also have a copy of the official notice signed by Mr. Allen, dated January 20th of 2025 for 115 Winston Lane, Inlet Beach, Florida.
Yes, sir, and would like to note that this property was also notified in 2023 twice
Okay.
as well.
I also see another notice from you dated July 29th in my file, and then notice of hearing, notice of violation. All right. All right, and the request by staff is the same as before, 48 hours to come into compliance, $500 per day. On this one, I see $107 in administrative fees. That's broken out as $48 in mailing costs and $59 for administrative fees.
That's correct, sir.
I'll accept into evidence the file presented along with the bookings.com printout. Close the evidence portion, and based on the testimony and evidence presented, I'll find the property at 115 Winston Lane in Inlet Beach, Florida is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the evidence presented, I'll find there is enough evidence to show there is a violation of 1.13.16A, short-term vacation rental certificate requirements. That due to the violation, the property must be brought into compliance within 48 hours, so that'll be on or before August 28th, 2025. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before that date, a $500 per day fine will be imposed. In addition to the fine, the property will, or the property owner will also be required to pay a $107 administrative fee. That fee will need to be paid within 30 days of the date of this order. And I'm signing the order now. All right, our next case is 2500130. Property owner is listed as CLMJ Rentals, LLC. Property address is 118 Spires Lane in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. And remind me, Mr. Lynch, this was one that you said we wanted to treat a little different.
Yes, sir. We're requesting 30 days to be brought into compliance and administrative fees of $107. That's the only difference.
Why would we treat this one different than the other one?
Yes, sir. It's because they contacted the county, specifically my office, requesting that they were going to cease renting. We're just waiting for the deactivation of their advertisements.
All right. So in the file that was presented by the county, I have a printout, Airbnb printout listing, where's the address at on this?
Yes, it doesn't, that does not have the address on the actual listing, sir. We have to use other means in order to look at it in terms of the photograph imagery that's provided.
And tell me how you do that then. How do I know that this is?
Sure. So we take the ad and then we actually look at what the imagery entails, and it doesn't show it on here, but in the other photographs that are in there, there's actually a photo that shows the exact building and unit that is this unit, and it is, then we just reference that with our GIS data.
So does somebody go out there and physically confirm this, or how's that work? Because I mean, all I have currently in my file
Sure.
is just interior pictures. I mean, that could be anybody's house, could be my house. So I mean, how do we know? Or what do I have in here? Or what can I be presented with today that would
Sure,
show?
I can pull up that ad still. It was still active as this morning. I can show you the exterior photos that actually have the pin drop for the actual building.
Yeah, I see the pin drop on the back or on page 2 of what the Airbnb printout, but I guess what I'm getting at is there any, who goes to the property, or how do we confirm that, you know, somebody else doesn't have the wrong picture, or we're not looking at the wrong property?
Sure, yes, sir. So we go through every single property that we bring before you, and we look at any of the pictures if it's not already geolocated by our GovOS software. This one was already, but then we just do a verification based upon what's actually in the photography of the ad, and then based upon any other items in there, and then reference it to the actual building with the actual unit.
So you did that in this case? Or you did
Yes,
that
sir,
in
all
every
of
case?
these,
Okay.
yes, sir.
All right.
And that's where we go through, and at the beginning, we had 51. We go through and double verify everything prior to bringing it before you, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, with that testimony, then I'll accept in the evidence that, while not any photographs of the exterior or showing of signage, that you've testified under oath that you've confirmed and verified through other means. All right. So besides the 30 days to bring the property into compliance, were there any other requested adjustments from the standard from the county as far as the $500 per day that would remain the same or be requested?
Yes, the 500 stays the same for all cases. In this case, we're asking 107 for the administrative fees.
And I'll just note for the record, as I've done in the past for other files, there is a notice of violation with Mr. Lynch's signature block, notice of hearing for today's date, and then the official notice from Mr. Allen as well regarding the violation, as well as the that date was July 29th. All right. I'll accept into evidence the physical evidence and the testimony presented. Close the evidence portion. Based on the evidence and testimony presented, I'll find that the property located at 118 Spires Lane in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on that same testimony and evidence, I find that there is sufficient evidence to show there is a violation of 1.13.16A, short-term vacation rental certificate requirements. Based on the county's request, I will find that the property will need to be brought into compliance within 30 days. Gina, what's 30 days out? All right, so on or before September 25th. I went ahead and wrote that in because the you guys had in there that it was 48 hours. So I wrote an initial by that. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before September 25th, a $500 per day fine will be imposed. In addition to the fine, there is $107 in administrative costs that'll need to be paid within 30 days, regardless of whether or not the property is brought into compliance. Next case is 25-00135 SLM Seacrest Holdings LLC. Property address is 11 Beach Bike Way, Inlet Beach, Florida. I have a copy of a booking.com. This one does have the exterior photograph as well as interior photos. Mr. Allen, I'm assuming you printed this out and verified.
Correct, sir. As of yesterday.
I have a copy of your official notice dated January 20th and another notice July 29th regarding 11 Beach Bike Way, Inland Beach, Florida. Copies of the notice of violation as well as the notice of hearing for today's date. And based on prior testimony, this one staff's recommending to be brought into compliance within 48 hours.
Correct, sir.
All right. Anything additional besides what's been presented in the file?
This is one of the other properties that was originally notified in 2023 to comply, but had failed to do so.
Thank you, sir. All right. Based on the testimony and evidence presented, I will accept into evidence the file or packet presented by staff, which includes the printout from bookings.com as well as the notices. I'll close the evidence portion. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that the property located at 11 Beach Bike Way in Inlet Beach, Florida is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the evidence and testimony, I find that there is sufficient evidence to show that there is a violation of 1.13.16A, short-term vacation rental certificate requirements at 11 Beach Bike Way, Inland Beach. Based on the recommendation of staff, I will find that the property must be brought into compliance within 48 hours on or before August 28th, 2025, or a fine of $500 per day shall be imposed. In addition to the fine, there is a $99 administrative fee that will need to be paid within 30 days, regardless of whether or not the property is brought into compliance. Next case is 25-00140. This is the property owner is listed as 66 Encore Capital LLC, and the property address is 125 Baird Road in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. And I have in the file presented by staff the case summary, as well as a booking.com printout that lists Baird Beach Beauty. This one has the address either, but this is a property that was confirmed or verified by yourself, Mr. Allen?
Correct, sir.
All right.
Confirmed yesterday. And I would like to also add for the court that this property had been previously notified in 2023 twice, prior to the 29 July notification to register. Additionally, they are not licensed by DBPR, but are registered with TDT.
I noticed in your notes that you unknown whether or not registered with or not registered with DBPR, unknown for Department of Revenue, and then they are in good standing with the tourist development. Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right. I'll accept into the evidence the testimony provided as well as the notices and printouts provided by staff. I'll close the evidence portion, make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. Find that 125 Baird Road in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the testimony and evidence presented, I do find sufficient evidence that there is a violation of 1.13.16A short-term vacation rental certificate requirements. Based on the recommendation of staff, I will find that the property will need to be brought in compliance on or before August 28th, 2025. In the event the property is not brought into compliance by that date, a $500 per day fine shall be imposed. In addition to the fine, there is an administrative fee of $99. That fee will need to be paid within 30 days, regardless of whether or not the property is brought into compliance. Our next case, 2500145. Property owner is listed as Cottage Retreat 13 Trust, and the address is 13 Cottage Row in Miramar Beach, Florida. I have in the packet of evidence presented this is a VRBO printout. It just has interior photos, but I'll ask you, as I've done in the past, Mr. Allen, you've confirmed the address?
Correct, sir.
All right. And then I also have the notices from Mr. Allen's office, as well as the notice of hearing for today's date, as well as a copy of the notice of violation for 13 Cottage Row. Anything additional, gentlemen?
Yes, sir. This is another one of those properties that were notified twice in 2023, and they, as of 14 August, they just obtained licensure from the state. Sorry.
Yeah, I see that. But they haven't obtained it through the county. That's why we're here. Okay. All right. I'll accept into evidence the notices and the VRBO printout and testimony presented. I'll close the evidence portion of this hearing. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that 13 Cottage Road, Miramar Beach, Florida is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the evidence and testimony presented, I do find sufficient evidence to show that there is a violation at the property, specifically a violation of 1.13.16A short-term vacation rental certificate requirements. Based on the county's recommendation, I will find that the property must be brought into compliance on or before August 28th. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before that date, a $500 per day fine shall be imposed. In addition to the fine, there is a $107 administrative fee that will need to be paid within 30 days, regardless of whether or not the property is brought into compliance. All right, our next case, 2500152, Panic on the Sand LLC. Address is 103 Fort Panic Road in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. And I have included in the evidence presented by staff a Home and Villas printout.
Yes, sir. It's a Marriott home and villas.
Bring it out the bottom one. And Mr. Allen, you've confirmed the property depicted in the home and villas printout is the same one that we have before me.
Correct, sir. As of yesterday, confirmed.
I also have the standard notices from Mr. Allen, one dated January 20th of this year, another dated July 29th. Also have the notice of violation for 103 Fort Panic Road and a notice of hearing with a compliance date of August 25th. Anything additional I need to hear or consider?
Just that this is another one of the properties that we sent 2 notices to in 2023 as well, sir.
It does look like this one, they're registered with DBPR as well as TDT, but they're not registered with us, and you don't know the status on
Yes, correct, sir.
Department of Revenue. All right. Looks like they've got 2 out of the 3.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll accept into evidence the testimony as well as the materials presented by county staff. I'll close the evidence portion. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that the property located at 103 Fort Panic Road in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the testimony and evidence, I do find that there is sufficient evidence to show a violation at the property, specifically 1.13.16A, short-term vacation rental certificate requirements. I'll order that the property must be brought into compliance on or before August 28th, 2025. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before that date, a fine of $500 per day shall be imposed. In addition to the fine, there's a $107 administrative fee. That administrative fee will need to be paid within 30 days, regardless of whether or not the property is brought into compliance. All right, I think we're down to our last case. This is number 8 on the agenda. 2500153. The property owner is listed as Anson, ANSON, Real Estate Trust, and the property is 116 Longview Drive in Inlet Beach. And I have a copy of the Airbnb printout. Mr. Allen, you printed this out, confirmed the address.
Correct, sir, as of yesterday.
All right, and then we have a copy of the notices from Mr. Allen's office, one dated January 20th of this year and the other dated July 29th. I have a copy of the notice of violation from Mr. Lynch's office and a notice of hearing with the for today's date. All right, anything else, gentlemen, I need to consider?
Again, like the previous property, sir, this is another one that we sent notice to in 2023 twice. And yes, they are registered with DBPR and with the TDT, but unknown for the Florida Department of Revenue.
I see that. All right. All right, I'll accept into evidence the file with the notices as well as the printout and the testimony presented. I'll close the evidence portion of this hearing. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that the property located at 116 Longview Drive in Inlet Beach, Florida, is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the testimony and evidence presented, I do find that there is a violation at the property, specifically a violation of 1.13.16A, short-term vacation rental certificate requirements. Based on the county's recommendation, I'll order that the property must be brought into compliance on or before August 28th, 2025. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before that date, a fine of $500 per day shall be imposed. In addition to the fine, there's a $107 administrative fee That fee will need to be paid within 30 days, regardless of whether or not the property is brought into compliance. I don't have anything else on my agenda. Is there anything else, gentlemen, before we close?
No, sir, that'll do it.
All right, we're adjourned.